Come on. Do I sound like I'm joking? Do I sound like I'm playing? When you look into my eyes, you understand what I'm saying? Let me say it to you slowly, and it may sound scandalous. I don't think that you can handle this.
Once again, we are on. He is the great Mike Steph. I am the Mojo King, and this is Hidden Gems Football, brought to you by the 19 Media Group. Mike Steph, I was about to ask you how you're doing, but first, I would like to point out to our loyal listeners that we appreciate you. And also, we have merch now. It will be in the description below. Now that I got the business out the way, how are you today?
I'm doing great. You know why I'm doing great? If you haven't noticed, in the background, besides my beautiful painting, courtesy of my lovely wife, below it is the number 24. Number 24, which is a
Freeman
jersey.
McNeil.
That would be a good guess, but no. Darrell Revis, the newest member of the Football Hall of Fame. And of course, since we're talking about the AFC East this week, this episode, this edition, I had to break out my Darrell Revis, original Darrell Revis jersey. Of course, because we're going to talk about a team that's near and dear to my heart, the New York JEETS, Jets. But yeah, besides that, I'm doing great. How about you, Mo?
I'm doing well. I mean, back in the day, I was a Dolphins fan. So I guess I've been excited about the East too. But, the thing about being fantasy and a better and survivor picks is you cannot have a team. So I'm neutral. But I'm excited for you, my friend.
I get it. But sometimes I'm not going to lie, sometimes it does get to me for the fact that I'm so invested in my team, and you can look at things from a overall view, so you have no emotional attachment. And I'm like, this don't make no sense. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm quite sure I'm going to get all the slander this episode, all of it. But guess what? I can dish it as well as I can take it.
Well, see, that's the one advantage I have, because I could keep poking the bear about your New York Jets, but you cannot slander a team for me, and I will care.
Yeah, that's some real.
All right, let's get on with your favorite division. Do you have one big thing to discuss? I think I have an idea.
I have one big thing. It's going to be a job in itself for me to narrow it down to just one big thing, and that's talking about my JEETS Jets. Because in all the other divisions that we discussed so far, we have 6 degrees of Jet Nation everywhere. And best believe I made it apparent to point everything out. Anytime, any person, any team that had any type of connection to my beloved Gang Green, I brought it out. So finally, we're talking about my Jets. This off season, we acquired the soon-to-be inhabitant of Canton, Ohio, soon-to-be next inductee of the Football Hall of Fame, 4-time MVP quarterback Aaron Rodgers, who longtime viewers of Hidden Gem Football, viewers from last year, would probably look at me and be like, okay, I know your name is Mike Steph now, and you don't go by the moniker of Donnie Oooh, but you, my friend, are a hypocrite. Because I did have a lot of things that I pointed out when it came to Mr. Aaron Rodgers. Tell you the truth, I think he was on my short, washed up list. But no, you know what that meant? How I'm going to get myself out of that argument? I'm going to say all that was needed was just a change of environment. A change of environment. He's gone from the cheese-infested area of Wisconsin to the big city of New York City. And he's embraced it. The one thing that has impressed me with Aaron Rodgers is the fact of how comfortable he seems to be in his own skin, how accommodating that he's been to with his new surroundings, with his new teammates, with his younger teammates, because that was one of the things that a lot of people had issue with his last years in Green Bay, is the fact that he did not want to deal with rookies. He did not want to deal with newcomers. He wanted to be fully engrossed with the veterans. He didn't even, so they say, want to spend time with his incumbent Jordan Love in the last couple of years. He comes to New York City. He comes to the JEETS. He's best buds with the quarterback that he replaced, Zach Wilson. Like, he's really looking out for Zach Wilson's best interests while he's here. He's become best buds, and I use the word buds very loosely when it comes to defensive back extraordinaire, rookie of the year, Sauce Gardner. They had a clip in which Sauce Gardner bestowed Aaron Rodgers number 8 iced out medallion, and they had like a little handshake, and the handshake went like, they did like this, they touched fingertips, brought it down, took a puff, and then asked it on the uniform. I'm like, yo, Aaron Rodgers is that dude, because that just shows to me that Aaron Rodgers, number one, like I said, is comfortable in the skin. Aaron Rodgers' number one goal in this offseason is to build a culture. He's let it be known that we have to have a standard here. I'm coming here with a standard, and everybody has to meet that standard. And I'm not saying you have to do it on your own. No, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to put another Lombardi trophy in that lonely trophy case that they have in Florham Park. I'm here to help. Aaron Rodgers does not intend to be a one and done quarterback. He restructured his contract to allow them to get more room under the salary cap, and that gives him credibility in the locker room. That gives him credibility in the fan base, with the fan base. I've been a Jet fan for 40 years. Sure, like I said, I could go on, and probably I have gone on way too long, but that is my one big thing, is the fact that Aaron Rodgers will bring my New York Jets to the promised land. Yes, he will.
Good luck to y'all. I haven't seen Jets fans this excited since a different quarterback came from Green Bay. It didn't turn out too well, though. I will say, and like I said, I'm not trying to step on your toes. I will say there is a big difference, and I'm glad you actually brought that up. There's a big difference in Aaron Rodgers coming to the Jets from Green Bay and that scammer from Mississippi coming to the Jets from Green Bay. No, I am not going to say his name, but I know it begins with a B, it ends with an F. And the F is probably for various things that I cannot say on this family-friendly program. So yes, I was not going to let you get away with that without hard pushback. But go ahead, continue. Yeah, you're going to be getting that all season long.
Oh, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
All right, let's talk about the rest of the Jets. Coach is Robert Saleh. He is 11-23 so far as the Jets coach.
Mid-bag of shells.
We already know who the quarterback is. Star running back Breece Hall injured his ACL last year. At wide receiver, second year now, star in the making. I think he will be a superstar this year. Garrett Wilson had over 1,100 yards last season. And then they brought in some complementary pieces. to fill out the wide receiver core. Allen Lazard comes over with Aaron Rodgers, as does Randall Cobb. McCole Hardman comes over from Kansas City. Tyler Conklin is the tight end. Aaron Rodgers is going to utilize him. And that is my breakout player of the year as far as Jets go. See, I do have nice things to say about the Jets. The offense, with Zach Wilson in charge, was 29th in scoring. But that defense was strong. Second in the NFL as far as giving up points against. The record last year was 7-10. They lost their last 6 games to get to 7-10. Their expected win percentage, win total, is 9.5 games. I feel like I'm wasting my time asking this question, but Mike Steph, over or below 9.5 games?
10. At least. I'm going over. Last year, like you said, we were 7-4 before we lost our last 6 games. At one point, I believe we were 6-2 with very suboptimal quarterback play by Zach Wilson. The former king of New York, Mike White, before he got injured, he was kind of coming back down to the mean. And we were still in playoff contention up until I believe, the second to last week of the season. Until even when the bottom really fell out, we were still in contention. Do people now think that Aaron Rodgers is at least worth 3 more victories? I do. You have a team, especially on the offensive side, that, like you said, we have McCole Hardman. Okay. He's not going to be counted on to be a top 3 receiver. We have CJ Uzomah, another tight end extraordinaire. We could go double tight end. Alan Lazard, yeah, it'd be all right. But I believe Lazard and Cobb, and like you said, Cobb is not expected to do anything on the field. Cobb is there more for like an on-field tutor to let the receiving core know of the tendencies to look for and to help with getting the rest of the receiving core and Aaron Rodgers on the right page. Now, defensively, yes, I think we were top 5 last season. We have Quentin Williams returning fresh off his spanking new extension. We have, in my opinion, a top 5 defensive backfield. Just based on our top 3 cornerbacks alone. We have DJ Reed, who is very, very underrated. Opposite, Rookie of the Year, Sauce Gardner. With Michael Carter III in the slot, who I believe is one of the top slot cornerbacks in the league in his 3rd season, going into his 3rd season. Combine that with Bryce Huff. Combine that with rookie Real McDonald IV, edge rusher extraordinaire. Combine that with Carl Lawson, another year removed from his Achilles tendon injury. We have the makings of a ferocious defense. So I bring it back to the very beginning of this long-winded answer. Do people not realize, or do people do not believe that Aaron Rodgers is worth 3 extra victories just based on him being there, based on him having the same coordinator that he won 2 MVPs with in 3 years together? And now with this extra chip on his shoulder to prove not only the naysayers wrong, but to prove Green Bay brass wrong, I could truly see another MVP season with Mr. Aaron Rodgers. So, yes, above. Yes, 10 wins or more. But I could also see us winning the division at 10-7, which we'll get into later.
That last sentence just blew me away. Like my head just.
Yeah, I saw the expression.
So, yeah, I guess we'll talk about who division winners and playoff people later.
Mhm.
Aaron Rodgers, yes, he should easily be worth 3 games more, particularly compared to what happened at quarterback last year. But I have a couple of questions about this. One, how much is Aaron Rodgers lost a step? Now, it's kind of hard to tell because the Packers' wide receivers weren't exactly great. The Jets have one stud and a rest of them that are not great. I think that should be enough for Aaron Rodgers, at least prime Aaron Rodgers. Are we getting prime Aaron Rodgers? But I do all that to kind of get under your skin a little bit. My real problem, though, is that this division is so tough. The Jets have a tough schedule to start out the season anyway, and they have to deal with Dolphins, and more importantly, they have to deal with Buffalo.
Please.
I think the Jets will play them close, assuming Aaron Rodgers is, not done. And but those games could flip either way. So 10-7. You said 10-7. I can see it. So I guess I go over. I'm not really thrilled about it. I would not be making this bet because I could easily see them go 8-9.
I'll say one thing, and we'll move on to the rest of the East. Aaron Rodgers last season threw for what? 26 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Most interceptions he's doing probably combined in like the last 4 seasons. And he did all that with a broken thumb on his throwing hand. Trust me, the thumb.
We'll see.
Confident.
All right. Feeling confident about your Jets.
Damn sure am.
Good job, Mike Steph. But we're going to move on to the real best team in the AFC East. That would be the Buffalo Bills. Sean McDermott is the head coach, 62-35 as the Bills head coach. He is also taking over as defensive coordinator for 1 year as their defense coordinator, Frazier, is taking a year sabbatical.
Peace.
The offense, I think people know well, got Josh Allen at quarterback. Running back, James Cook looks like he will be taking over the primary role. They did get Damian Harris from New England. He's a bigger guy. He might be the goal line rusher. And they have Naheem Hines, but I believe he's injured. And they also have Latavius Murray. Delvin Singletary was their main man, at least in the beginning of the season. He's out. He's in Houston now. Wide receiver, Stephon Diggs. What a monster. And big threat man, Gabe Davis is there. And then at tight end, this is interesting. They have Dawson Knox, who's steady, has been steady throughout the years. But they spent their first round pick on Dalton Kincaid out of Utah. He's supposed to be a very good receiver, can play the slot. So maybe they won't need that third receiver. Maybe they'll just go with 2 tight ends. Last season, they were 13-3. Their win total, according to covers.com, is 10.5 games. Mike Steph, are they going to go over or under 10.5?
Under. Everybody's saying they're probably, let's say, a top 3 team in the league. Not my eyes. They got a lot of question marks. Question mark number 1, Stephon Diggs. Is he truly happy? Because everybody knows when Stephon Diggs is disgruntled, do you really want him on that team? How do you think he ended up in Buffalo to begin with? Because he was disgruntled in Minnesota, and he forced his way out. After the display of disrespect that we saw on the sideline and their playoff loss, yes, I said playoff loss against Cincinnati at home, does anybody truly believe that him and Josh Allen have reconciled, are going to be on the same page this season? I think not. Sean McDermott, you said, is choosing, well, he is going to call the defense this year due to the sabbatical of Frazier, right? Does anybody think that's an upgrade? Now, that just as one more thing on the plate of the head coach, a head coach who has underachieved, some would say, in, let's say, last couple seasons. How about Josh Allen? Josh Allen, to me, last year, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, because after my New York JEETS put a hurting on his ass, he was hobbled the rest of the season with that elbow that affected his accuracy. But also, I believe a big part of this downturn that we saw with Josh Allen was no longer having the expertise of Coach Brian Daboll, who departed for the New York Football Giants, giving him some type of structure, giving him some type of direction. Do I think that's going to improve this year? No, I do not. So with all these questions, and I remember, and I'm going to harken back to those wide eyes and those raised eyebrows when I said that my New York JEETS could win the division at the record of 10-7. And you looked at me like, not with the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins in this division. Need I remind you that we split with the Buffalo Bills last year with a hobbled quarterback in the former King of New York, Mike White, in the second game, and we busted you know what in the first game in the Meadowlands with Zach Wilson. Tell me when I'm telling lies. I haven't heard a lie come out this spout since we got on the Buffalo Bills. So, will they go above 10.5? Hell no. I give them the same exact record as my, matter of fact, I would say they will go below. So more likely 10-7. And they will not be the best team in this division this year. They got way too many question marks. Their window that was open the last couple years, to me, last year, effectively closed. They're on the other side looking in. Below.
All right. Yeah, I got you. I understand. Your argument is ridiculous. You are you are fanning out here. We need to have an honest discussion.
We are having an honest discussion.
The Bills are monsters in the regular season. Now, will Allen do something boneheaded in the playoffs? Probably. Will McDermott not make the right call in the playoffs? Good chance. But they will steamroll teams in the regular season. This 10.5 is ridiculous. The only reason that it somewhat makes sense to be that low is because, well, you always have to worry about injuries, but also because the Dolphins are in the division and the Jets are in the division.
Yes, I agree.
So, but anything worse than a split in those 4 games, I can't see that. And then most of the league, they're going to throttle. This is easy over. Easy. If your Jets are going to win the division, they're going to have to go over too. It's not going to happen.
I said my Jets are going to go over 9.5. I gave the benefit of the doubt to the rest of the division that we was only going to win 10 games. This is the same Buffalo Bills. Yeah, I know we're talking about the regular season, but it's the same Buffalo Bills team that had to hang on for dear life against the Miami Dolphins in the wild card game at home with their third string quarterback at the helm. And I'm supposed to be scared of this team? Please.
All right, we'll see.
Are you ready to step up your style without compromising the planet? Introducing the exciting partnership between BLUEVIEW Footwear and the 19 Media Group Network. Just visit bit.ly/BLUEVIEW19 to start your sustainable style journey. Our friends over at BLUEVIEW Footwear are renowned for introducing the world's first fully biodegradable sneaker. By using plant-based plastics, they are leading a revolution in cleaner materials and manufacturing. They have sleek and contemporary styles that cater to a wide range of tastes. BLUEVIEW Footwear believes that fashion and sustainability can coexist harmoniously. Explore their incredible collection of eco-friendly footwear by visiting bit.ly/BLUEVIEW19. If you let us know you made a purchase, we'll shout you out on our next show. Again, just visit bit.ly/BLUEVIEW19 today, and you'll see the ultimate collaboration of fashion, sustainability, and media excellence.
All right, up next is the second best team in the AFC East, and that is the Miami Dolphins, coached by the young genius, Michael McDaniel.
Logic.
He does look like Logic. Good call. What if he could rap a little bit? All right. They, of course, are led by Tua. How you say his last name?
Tagovailoa.
There we go. I'm not even trying to butcher it. You know, obviously Tua has the concussion issues, but when he was on his game and healthy, the team was humming. At running back, Raheem Mostert, but their real impact comes at wide receiver, where Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle run those streets. Hill had over 1,700 yards. Waddle had over 1,300. Interestingly enough, back to 6 degrees of Jets Nation, Braxton Berrios is there.
We got rid of him for a reason.
That little guy has a little spark in him. Aaron Rodgers wishes he had him on his team. Anyway.
I wish he would have caught that touchdown in Minnesota, but that's another story.
Their defense, they had a great acquisition, but unfortunately he will not be there until December. Jalen Ramsey is out with a knee injury. So do you know who they signed to replace him? Not a Jet this time. Eli Apple.
Oh, Mr. Burnt Toast. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna refrain until it's my turn. Go ahead. Yeah, Mr. Eli Apple. Yeah, key acquisition, and it's the second best team in the division. You see this? You know what this is? The world's smallest violin. That's what this is. Continue.
Last season, their record was 9-8. They lost in the playoffs to Buffalo. Their expected win total, according to covers.com, is 9.5 games. Mike Steph, 9.5, over or below?
Below, under. Just like the bus in which they're gonna be under. I swear, that's another team that I can't stand. I haven't liked them since the Marino fake spike. That's how long this hate has been for the Miami Dolphins. Do you know Mike White is the Miami Dolphins' primary backup quarterback? Now, yes, I know how quickly things have changed because I was singing the praises of Mike White the last 2 years. But guess what? That was last year, and that was the year before. Things have changed. If you consider yourself to be a Super Bowl contending team, and you have Mike White as your primary backup, your primary go-to to quote unquote steer the ship with Tyreek Hill and Mr. Waddle waddling his ass every time he catches a touchdown. I bet he won't waddle his butt across that middle. You're putting your collective eggs in one basket when it comes to Tua Tagovailoa. How many concussions did he have last year? 1, 2, 3. And that's not me making fun of his condition. I want to make sure that's perfectly clear. But fact is a fact. If you have a quarterback who's had concussion issues, severe concussion issues, you're going to entrust that to a journeyman backup quarterback by the name of Mike White, the most generic name possible? This goes back to the questionable decision-making of the Miami Dolphins, who lost a first-round draft pick due to tampering. This same brain trust entrusted their franchise to a man who actually came out of his mouth that says that he doesn't wash his ass every day. Yes, that was a thing. But I digress. The Miami Dolphins, 9.5, that's the over and under? Under. They're going to go 8-8. And I guarantee that Skylar Thompson will be their starting quarterback for at least 5 games this season. Under. 9-8. Take it to the bank. Mr. Tyreek Hill. The Jets. You know who the Jets are gonna be better than? You. I still remember how you used us to get whatever offer you got for South Beach, and guess what? We're gonna end up being a better team without you, Mr. Cheetah Man. Under 9-8. Purgatory. Mediocrity.
That was amazing. I got to give you a round of applause for that. That was amazing. I don't know how accurate it was, but it was amazing. I literally don't know. 9.5 wins seems exactly right to me. I'm going to say that I expect them to go 9-7 and have a tie, probably with the Jets to keep them out the playoffs. So much is tied to his health. I think they should be good enough to go over 9.5. I would not bet this at all. All right. Now we move on to the third best team in the AFC East. I'm just kidding. All right. The last but not least, because of great coaching here, is the New England Patriots. Coach Bill Belichick has 298 career wins, which puts him third all time. 262 of them are with the Patriots. The other ones are with do you know who they're with?
Cleveland Browns.
Yes, sir. You have a good memory, because I had completely forgot.
Listen, I'm a Jeopardy champ in the making.
Interesting side note. Did you know that Jeff Fisher has one more career win as coach than Bill Parcells?
A lot of those 8 and 8s do add up.
They sure do. All right, getting away off point. All right, at quarterback, we have Mac Jones. Had a rough year last year. 14 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. But if you remember 2 years ago, those numbers looked a little bit better. He had 22 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. Ramondre Stevens rushed for over 1,000 yards last season and had 5 touchdowns. They've been flirting with some veteran running backs too. As wide receivers, Devontae Parker, Juju Smith-Schuster. And then they have Belichick has continued to always want 2 tight ends. This time he actually has 2 that could really catch the ball and do some damage. He has Hunter Henry and he has Mike Gesicki. The defense continues to be solid. They were 3rd in sacks. I forgot to mention, they have a new offensive coordinator. They had a 2-headed monster last year. Now this year they have Bill O'Brien. He is a former Patriots offensive coordinator, specifically through 2009 through 2011. He was also last year he was at Alabama. All right. This team last year was 8-9. Remember, they were flirting with the playoff spot. They ended up the season 2-5 in their last 7, which kind of took them out. Covers.com has their expected win total at 6.5.
6.5. That's surprising to me. It's actually very easy for me though, because as much as I express my hate for the Dolphins, I hate the Patriots just that much more. Because regardless of how I feel about the Patriots and Belichick, I will never take anything away from Bill Belichick. So just on him alone, and being the fact that he actually has an offensive coordinator instead of Matt Patricia and Joe Judge trying to patchwork an offense, which I think was a major FU to his owner and maybe Tom Brady himself. Like, you know what? I'm going to just do what I feel like doing, and I can still have a representative offense, and it blew up in his face. So being the fact he just has Bill O'Brien, who's been is a proven commodity, I would give them over. I could see them probably going 7-10 because the defense is still stout. Dare I say, I could see them possibly going 8-9 on a good year. It all depends on how consistent Mac Jones is. But here's one stat that I do have. They're actually just a 500 team, 25-25 since the end of the Brady era. Yeah, it's funny because it's almost like I blew my load on Buffalo and Miami, and I have really nothing left for New England. But that to me proves how much of a non-threat New England should be.
What I expect to happen all season is for them to play close games. And it's really hard to predict, ball bounce the right way, they go over, ball bounce the other way, they go under. I'm going to go under. This division is just too strong. Somebody has to start losing. I expect New England to play everybody tough, and I expect them to get a couple of bad bounces, and this to be the year that people start saying, has Belichick lost it? And by the way, I don't think he has at all. I think that this team is just not have as much talent as the other teams.
And whose fault is that, though?
Oh, well, we can argue that Bill Belichick is not the best GM going around, for sure. The draft picks continue to be weird. It's not so much that they draft surprises, which is a problem in itself, but they draft surprises that they don't have to draft as early as they do. As an expert that I am, as far as playing fantasy sports, and I've done literally probably thousands of drafts, it's always worrying about getting value at where you're at. So if you have some super sleeper that you like, you don't draft them early. You draft them as late as you can. And it seems like they always are reaching to grab for somebody that they could have got around later. Or maybe they could have traded down and got a couple extra picks, the next year, but instead they go and reach for them. And that continues to be a problem as far as Belichick, the player picker.
GM.
The player picker. But Belichick, the coach, I still think is outstanding. I think that he is everything that he was always thought to be. I'm still picking him for under. I think this year will be a disaster. And then next year they'll make a playoff run.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see the unofficial tank being.
Right. Well, I don't think Belichick has that in him too, which is another problem for New England, because they're probably going to float around mediocrity forever as long as they don't have enough talent, but they have a great coach. He's going to sneak some win in, except for this year, because I'm saying under. I'm almost convinced myself to go back over. All right. We've had some fun on some of these other divisions so far, but none as much as this one.
See,
so
you see what my JET just bring out of us, Revis. Yes, yes, we're going for it. We're going for it. Yeah, stand up. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Do we really have to do the other divisions? I think not, but we will.
This was fun. All right, Mike Steph, take us out.
Hidden Jets football is a part of the 19 Media Group. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Get the merch. Get the merch.
Get the merch.
Well, get the hat that's on the site. Get the merch.
And there's Hidden Gems football merch too.
This is a 19 Media Group presentation.
I'm dead serious. You think you really think it's just based on fanboying? No, you did not hear a lie come out my spout.
Josh Allen. He's got the legs. He's got the arm. You got to admit, he's a better runner than Aaron. That's my switch. All right. Anyway, all right.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm just being a
dick. We got jokes here, huh? It's okay. It's okay.
Oh man.
I know I'm gonna have to deal with this all season. I get it.
all season.
With all that being said, because I'm rambling and I'm probably stretching this out way longer it's gonna be, and half this stuff will end up on the editing room floor.
All right, let me calm down. Calm. No laughing fit.